Hello there everybody, how is it going and how have you been? I am EuclideanSqd, and we're back here in Duel Links to cover a newish event yet again. This is the Duel Island Gladiator event. I say newish because, well, this is a new event in and of itself. The Duel Island sort of event has been run one time in the past. It worked a little bit differently than it does now. But all in all, this is a very new type of event compared to what I've covered previously, and it's an event that they don't run very often in general, so in general it's just relatively going to be new. So, the way that the Duel Island Gladiator event works in a very broad sense is that it's a sort of semi-PvP event. And what I mean by that is that while you are dueling against decks made by other players, you are not actively dueling that other player while you're participating in the event. Instead, you're dueling against an AI that is controlling their deck. So, it's a little tricky there. I will get more into these specifics when we go into the event, but it does function similarly to the Duelist Chronicles events in that as you duel, you win Millennium Coins, and you then spend those Millennium Coins to get prizes out of a lottery, which includes new cards. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and go into the Duel Island. And I believe we will get we do get a notification, so you'll see it says here defense successful. I will cover that in just a moment. But basically what that means is that in order to participate in this event, you have to set one of your own current decks as what is called a defending deck. And that's the deck that other players are going to be dueling against as they're participating in their version of the Duel Island, which is pretty cool. And on top of that, you get points every time your deck wins. So, not only are you trying to win points by beating other players' decks, but you also want to try and make a relatively strong deck so that other players have a more difficult time beating it, and you get more points to help propel you through all the prize lists, get coins, and all that other stuff. Now, the deck I've set... apparently I rank up, so my plan is going all over the place, and there's okay, one thing at a time. So, when it comes to the defending deck, you set it down here, right next to the defending thing, and you literally just pick any deck you've made previously. In this case, I just let it take the deck that I currently had equipped, which was just kind of an experimental deck that I made to just kind of play around and test out some of the new Gem Knight monsters from the most recent box. I really didn't expect much of it, but it's actually gotten a fair amount of wins and a fair amount of points just by, sitting there and running along as it does. But one thing that is very important is right here. Your defending deck cannot use skills. Specifically, the AI will never use whatever skill you may have set for your deck. So, it won't play fields, it won't use, if you have like Power of Dark from Yami Yugi, it will never activate and set the field spell. If you have Restart, the AI will never use it. If you have Balance, the AI it will never activate. So, whatever deck you're designing, make sure it's not reliant on any one particular skill. In this case, the Gemstones deck that I just kind of threw together really doesn't rely on a skill because it's basically just a bunch of Gem Knight monsters and a bunch of cards to facilitate fusing so that I can try out the fusion monsters. And like a couple of security orbs thrown in just to kind of stall whatever opponent's big monster may come out. It's not great. I'm not going to say it's great, but it's kind of fun to mess around with. And likewise, I'm just using it to like experiment and get more of a feel for the Gem Knight monsters, the new Gem Knight monsters at least. Now, on that note, that's basically how your defending deck works. And again, as players battle against it, if they lose, it sort of accumulates points over time with each win. And then the next time you go into the island, you get all those points, any prizes that may have accumulated, coins, all that stuff. In addition to that, there's titles as well for hitting various point limits. Let's show me here. I think there's like 5 titles. Yeah. So when you first start off, you're like Duel Island newcomer or something. And then at 20,000 you get to Challenger. At 60,000 you hit Adventurer. At 170,000 you hit Seeker. And finally at Master you hit you get Master at 530,000. Oh, I'm sorry, and then Conqueror at 950,000. But basically, these are just names for milestones that happen to correspond with one of the new cards that they provide over the course of the event. But in addition, there's all the other standard things that you get from, for example, character unlock events like Yami Merrick and Jesse Anderson. There's gold, there's gems, card sleeves, card mat, jewels, all kinds of stuff. So this is a very different sort of event because it tends to blend aspects of all the other events together. But when it comes to actually playing the event, you're presented with a screen just like this, and on it are all of the duelists you have available to choose to duel from. And you can see down here, or next to each of their names, is a listing of how many points you will get if you win. Now, if you lose, I think you get about half. I'm not sure. I haven't really paid that close of attention to the points, even though I probably should. But generally, you'll probably want to go for the higher point value decks just to try and progress through the event a bit faster. However, those decks are generally going to be ones that are harder to beat. I've noticed that a particularly large number of them are for hire decks, and the AI has middling success with those, so be careful if the AI gets going. It can win just because the fur hires themselves are very powerful cards, but sometimes it will just do kind of stupid things with them, so maybe you might be able to look out. But in addition to all the duelists, on occasion you get a trespasser. That trespasser will always be Gladiator, Beast, Andal. He always makes bear puns, and in particular he always gives you way more points than anybody else. And just look at this, he gives you 150,000, which if I beat him, that's going to be almost doubling my current score. And the next highest is 6,000. 6,000 compared to 150,000. So always duel the trespassers whenever you have a chance, especially because they have a neat little feature. In the Duel Island, there's what is called your AP. And you may have noticed that up in the corner, the little 8 out of 8 symbol. In the Duel Island, you may only duel while you have AP to spend. And participating in every duel, win or loss, costs 1 AP. Now you do get them back at the rate of 1 point an hour, or 1 point every half an hour, I'm sorry. But the good thing is that the Trespasser doesn't take any AP, so he's basically just free points. Now unfortunately I got a little bit of a crappy starting hand for this deck. Generally I want more Gem Knights and fewer Spell and Trap cards. But like I said, I don't expect this deck to do particularly well. This is, again, just something I threw together to experiment with. So I'm going to go ahead and swap Alexandrite for a Garnet. And let's see, what do you do again? This is one of the new Gladiator Beasts you can get by participating in the event. When this card is special summoned by the effect of a monster, Gladiator Beast, you can target one Gladiator Beast monster in the graveyard, special summon it. This card attacked or was attacked, you can shuffle it in the deck, special summon one Gladiator Beast monster. So I'm probably going to guess that Andal's level 40 deck is going to be quite strong. Apparently he doesn't have anything to protect his Gladiator Beasts, or that's just a different card in general, but we'll see. I might actually be able to win. I don't know why I didn't set Security Orb either, but let's go ahead and do this. Why can't you... Oh, because it's not the battle phase. There we go. Now, we just use Pyroxene Fusion. Okay, so he's going to negate the first Pyroxene Fusion card, but I have a second one. So let's fuse for the new Gem Knight Lady Brilliant Diamond. Fuse up all 3. Might as well just use Lazuli's effect to return Garnet to my hand, and then there we go, attack with Brilliant Diamond for the win. That's the basic premise of this experimental deck, is to just try and fuse as fast as possible. Specifically try to create Brilliant Diamond as fast as possible, because she can create all the other fusion Gem Knights without needing polymerization, basically. But in all, that's generally how this event... 15,000. Did I misread it? I probably misread it. It's like 1:15 in the morning. I'm kind of tired because I've had a long day, so... Point is, the Trespasser still gives you more points than any other regular duelist. Maybe not to the extent that I thought it did, but he still gives you more points than anybody else. So, that's the basic premise to the whole duel event, or the Duel Island, is you battle duelists, you spend your AP, cannot attack due to the defender's deck being unable to duel. Okay, I've never seen that before. Yeah, basically, you spend your AP to duel these guys, you win points, you win coins, and you spend in the lottery. It's a bit, actually got a similar feature to the different Dimension Tower events as well, in that as you participate, you get AP potions that you can then spend to restore 5 AP. But there's also another mechanic that's EX AP, and this is basically bonus AP points that you can get by spending real-world money in the shop. Probably don't need this, as every time your title goes up, your max AP goes up and is immediately refreshed back up to full. So, probably don't need to rely on EXAP too much, but if you really want to participate in the event and you don't have a lot of time, if you're okay spending a little bit of money, go for it. I'm not going to stop you. Let's go ahead and have another duel just to kind of show this off. So you're probably just using the 6 Samurai deck, which is fine. Don't know if I'm going to win or not, but again, the AI is at control, so it has the potential to do dumb moves, or perhaps moves that aren't quite so good in the long run. We shall see. That's a much better opening hand. That is a much better opening hand. When another 6 Samurai monster is normal or special summon to your field, you can send 1 6 Samurai card from your deck to the graveyard. Exactly 1 6 Samurai monster you control is destroyed, you can banish it. Okay. I'm going to test the waters by playing Alexandrite. I'm going to use Alexandrite's effect to summon a Garnet. Just kind of prodding the AI, see if it's going to use its face down. It's not. So in that case, let's use Polymerization. Combine the 3 Gem Knights I've got in my hand to create Lady Brilliant Diamond. Lady Brilliant Diamond's effect activates to convert the Garnet on the field into Gem Knight Master Diamond. I'm going to go ahead and use the Tie That Binds to give my monsters more attack power. And are you going to stop me? Okay, you have a means to stop me. Well, I'm going to get rid of... Alright. Okay, fine. Guess what? I draw another Gem Knight monster and you lose. No, I got a Polymerization. Alright, well. You know what, though? I still get to deal a significant amount of damage to you. Here we go. You're not going to play anything, so I win. Yeah. I mean, this really isn't a complicated event. You just duel. That's really the long and short of it. Just, if you want to score points, pick whichever player has the highest point bonus or point value associated with them that's currently out on your map, and just duel. I don't really know what else to say about this event. It's pretty straightforward. Like I mentioned, you get 1 AP back every 30 minutes, or you could just use a potion if you wanted. You're free to change your deck from here. Your attacking deck is kept separate from your defending deck, so if you find that your defending deck doesn't seem to be bringing you a lot of wins, or you get some new cards and want to update it, you can do that at any time. There's no cost associated with it. And kind of similar to the Duelist Chronicles events, every day you get 10 free draws from the lottery, so to wrap up this short coverage of a very straightforward event, let's just go ahead and dump all the coins I've got into this lottery. Don't get anything too valuable out of the first set. Oh no, I do get one of the new Gladiator beasts. That actually is something that I almost forgot to go over, so this is one of the new cards you can get from the event. This is Gladiator Beast Retiari. He has the same ability as all the other Gladiator Beasts in that at the end of the battle phase, if he attacks or was attacked, he gets to shuffle himself back into the deck, and you can special summon any other Gladiator Beast monster from your deck except for another Retiari. That's a common trait that a huge percentage of the Gladiator Beasts share. Not quite all of them. For example, Andal can't do that because he's just a normal monster. But in addition to that trait, if Retiari is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, he gives you the ability to remove one card from your opponent's graveyard from play. So this can be useful for Red Eyes decks. You can special summon him and he can banish the Red Eyes out of the graveyard. It can help with Six Samurai decks where you can banish some of the secret Six Samurais from the graveyard so that they can protect the ones that are on the field. He does have his uses. He's not all that strong though, so hopefully you have something to kind of protect him so that he can shuffle himself, so that he can return to your deck and summon a bigger one when it's time to actually do some damage. Now I'm just going to go ahead and draw another 10, see if I get lucky enough to get any of the other new cards. Maybe. I get Dark Crusader. I don't think he's new. He's been added. He's one of the monsters that just kind of floats around in the card pool for the lottery events. But pretty straightforward. You can send one dark monster from your hand to the graveyard and gains 400 attack. That is a permanent boost, and you can do it multiple times per turn if you want to. So, he can be good for dark decks. Oh no, we did get another new one. I just noticed this one. Gladiator Taming. It's a quick play spell. If you have a face-up Gladiator Beast monster on the field, you can activate one of the following effects. You can either A, select one face-up monster your opponent controls and change its battle position, or B, select one face-up Gladiator Beast monster your opponent controls and take control of it. So, kind of like a weird enemy controller in a sense, in that you can steal an opponent's monster, but it has to be a Gladiator Beast. But more importantly, you can change an opponent's monster's battle position if you have a face-up Gladiator Beast. So it may be able to help in certain situations where all you have are your weaker Gladiator Beasts. You play one of them, you set this, your opponent tries to attack them with a stronger monster, activate Gladiator Taming, put that thing in defense mode, and then on your turn you can attack its defense position, which may cause some recoil to you, but it still counts as an attack, so you then get to activate their effect to, shuffle them and swap them out for a different Gladiator Beast. But in addition to those two, Retiari and Gladiator Taming, there's also Gladiator Beast Darius, which we saw Andal using. And again, when you special summon by the effect of a Gladiator Beast, you can target any Gladiator Beast in your graveyard and special summon it back onto the field, but its effect is negated and it shuffles into the deck when Darius leaves the field. So, good for recovering any Gladiator Beasts that may be attributed, that may have had their effects negated, that may have been forcefully discarded, but they themselves cannot return to the deck unless Darius leaves the field. So that is something important to note, is that if you try to shuffle Darius into your deck to summon a different one, whatever he revived is going to go back into the deck with him. So you'll be ending up with one less monster at the end of it. There's also Gladiator Beast Equesti, probably pronounced that wrong. Same shuffling effect, but whenever he is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast monster, you can target any Gladiator Beast card in your graveyard and add it to your hand instead. So, not quite as strong as Darius in that he just simply revives it, but that does return the Gladiator Beast to your hand, so you can then play it, maybe have a card to reshuffle it from your hand back into the deck so it can be more easily special summoned. But the important thing is that he can't negate the effect since it goes back to your hand. So that's kind of the trade-off between Equest and Darius. We also have Gladiator Beast Tigerius. He cannot be used as a fusion material monster, and whenever he is special summoned by the effect of a Gladiator Beast, you can discard one Gladiator Beast from your hand to add a different Gladiator Beast, or perhaps the same Gladiator Beast if you really want to, from your deck to your hand. Now note, he does not have the returning effect that the other ones do. So once he's played, he's hanging around on the field for a while. And likewise, because he can't be used as a fusion material monster, you can't just shuffle him back into the deck when you basically contact fuse for one of the Gladiator Beast's fusions. So he's going to be taking up a slot on your field, and you only get to use his effect once. So just be mindful of that. I'm sure there's probably some use for that. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really played with Gladiator Beasts too much. But other than that, there's just other cards in here from previous lotteries, so you know, if you didn't get a Dark Crusader, if you didn't get a Phantom Beast Wildhorn, or a Phantom Beast Crosswing or whatever the last time that a lottery event was around, which I think was the Duelist Chronicles Battle City Finals event, I think was the last time we had access to this lottery, you have another chance to get them now. So for example, I never got 3 copies of Thunder Pegasus, but in this event you get one as a point reward, and you can get them out of the lottery again. So that's the coverage of all the cards. Let's just go ahead and just keep tossing coins into the lottery, see if I can find anything else valuable. No ultra rares in this set. Do I get my 3rd copy of Taming? I do, so I don't have to worry about that. Or my 2nd copy of Taming, but I saw that I did get my 3rd Retiari. We got a Tigerius. Cool. Alright. Can't really be mad about that. It's a super rare. More electricity, so we've got 1 rainbow pack. And that's an quest. Cool. More lightning. Another rainbow pack. We get a wild horn. Pretty sure I have 3 copies, but he's not a bad card and all. Just in general, he's a beast warrior. He does piercing. He's got 1700 attack. Not too bad. No lightning. So, nothing too valuable in there. Now let's go ahead and just toss in 120, see if we get lucky, and we don't. Okay then. But yeah, I mean that's all there is to it. Duel, get coins, spend in lottery. Not much more to the Duel Island Gladiator event than that. All the prizes you get from ranking up are sent to your item box as well, so don't forget to claim them from here before you actually get to use them. So actually I got 2 copies of a quest. So I'm actually a little curious, what all am I missing right now? I'm missing, let's see, 3 Darius, a Thunder Pegasus, 1 more quest, and 2 Tigerius. Okay. So I'm sure I'll probably get a let's actually check here. So I'll get another Tigerius at Duel Island Master, and I'll go to Darius at Conqueror, so cool. Guaranteed to get at least 1 copy of all the new cards as you rank up. And, well, with the exception of the Gladiator Taming, but to be honest, you're probably going to get a copy of that just by throwing coins in the lottery, so it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, that's been the ins and outs of the Duel Island Gladiator event. I hope you guys all do well. And with that, I hope you all had a great time, and I hope you all have a great day. So, I will see you all next time.